Hello, everyone. Ian Ileana here. Another day to say that I hate LA. Love me anyway. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So, we still have at least one fire left in Los Angeles last time I checked. And now we have one in San Diego. But enough about that. Let's talk about the Oscars. This country. They would rather talk about the Academy Awards than the fact that the state is on fire. That should tell you everything you need to know about how much this country has lost the ability to reason. I know it's asking a lot. I mean, it's asking people to do things like pick up a book, read it, pick up a newspaper, read that, read magazine articles that they publish, stay informed, start attending ridiculous things like LA City Council meetings. It's like, this is boring stuff, but is this boring stuff that has us in a situation where 5 fires broke out in a state? Instead of hand-wringing and running around without a clue, we have due process of the law. We need to suggest new bills that start protecting our interests, such as clean, fresh air, adding rain back into the weather cycle here, and 3, not burning to death because politicians like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass would rather do anything else but irrigate the state of California. California is dry, it needs water. It's as plain as day. If you need anything in this state, it's water. Your plants need water, your lawn needs water, trees need water, which is why they keep setting themselves on fire, because there's no water there. It hasn't rained in so long that it's not a tree anymore. So I keep saying that Los Angeles County committed arson against itself, and it did. But before that, it was herbicide. They killed those trees by depriving LA forests of water. They killed the trees before the fire ever touched it, because the trees might have been tall, but on the inside, they were just parched. But they can't say anything. They can't say to a human, hey, do you have any water to spare? I would love if plants could be more vocal, or people took the time to actually listen, because plants are pretty vocal. You can tell what they're thinking because of their leaves. And that's how they communicate. But of course, I'm that Native American First Nation indigent. I feel nature, and I live in a state that is always at odds with nature. That's rough. But here I am. I'm gonna do this podcast every single day, or at least until I get my hot flash voucher, and then I'm bouncing. I hate LA. LA is the worst city in the worst state. 5 fires break out, and I'm supposed to just look at these people as anything more than monsters. When I see people on the street, I say, You people are arsonists. You people don't even try to save the environment because you think you're better than that, and you think that if your health suffers, that you suffer alone, or there's any other cause besides the fact that you're just greedy bastards. When people used to spend more time outdoors doing outdoor activities and walking around because it was expensive to own a car. Things were very different. Then again, nearly everybody worked in a factory, so things were bad in their own way. There was never really a good time for America, except before it was America. Before it was America, there was a land, and then there was a people who respected the environment, who saw nature as a welcome guest, a member of the family, something to be respected, feared even. How many rituals do you know of rain dances? I mean, we as Westerners laugh at that now. I mean, shaking around in order to try and coax precipitation. But there was a level of respect there that we lack. See, they respected the elements enough to set up a ritual and also to maybe hold back on expansion, hold back on some of their desires to just be destructive. Because it is destructive what has happened to California. Where is the water? I'm sure there's a California river. That California river isn't feeding into these forests anymore. That's a huge problem. I have been on X every single day trying to reach out with my deaf music videos to songs like this, Cooler Than Ice, in order to try and convince them to care about their state, not just because they're an elected official, but because they live here, and there are people who live here, and there are animals who live here, and there are trees that live here that we take for granted, because once they're gone, they're gone. And you should feel that loss like the loss of a parent. Personally, I am in mourning over trees. I know there's a lot of people who say human life is more important. I don't know if I can agree with that. I believe in human life. I don't believe in this amount of destruction. It's just destruction. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why Californians know that there are forest fires going on, know that there are still forest fires to come. Even though they're down to maybe one forest fire left in Los Angeles, congratulations. Congratulations to the LA Fire Department and the National Guard. You did something. Great. What about the next one? What about the one after that? Because it seems to be a pattern that we ignore. Forest fires are just another inconvenient thing for California people, like traffic. It's annoying, but unless you're the one set on fire, unless you're the one in the accident that caused the pileup, which caused the traffic jam, it just doesn't matter to you LA people. And which is why when LA people try and talk to me, I don't talk back to you, because number one, you're not my people, and two, you're responsible. I am responsible too for what is going on with the weather, because I don't take it upon myself to try and have conversations with people. So I feel guilt on the other side of it, because I should be having that conversation with people about why we need rain in California. But I'm a veteran with PTSD from military sexual trauma, so I have to have a podcast instead of trying to talk to people, because if I try to talk to people, I have anxiety, rage, and depression, and it makes me too uncomfortable to try and talk to people in person. But through this medium that I'm on right now, YouTube, I'm hoping that I can reach at least one or two people and convince them to try to care about what's going on in California, and then beyond what's going on in California, what's going on in their cities and countries. London probably doesn't have to deal with as many forest fires as Los Angeles. However, you are the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. There were factories there. You spent a lot of time throwing hydrocarbons up into the atmosphere. And now there are factories that are closing, people losing their jobs. But guess what? For every factory that there was there's 10,000 more cars. And those cars are throwing out hydrocarbons, nitrates, sulfur dioxide up into the atmosphere. So you may not be on fire, but you're dealing with the smoke. You're dealing with the smog. And you have fires there, I'm sure, too. So where does that go? I mean, we think of these cities as places where we have property. We don't think of them as living, breathing organisms. We don't think of them as having to exist in a larger ecosystem, in a larger world. When Los Angeles burns, that smoke, smog, that loss of oxygen producing trees is felt everywhere. It's felt everywhere. So it affects everyone. I have a petition, change.org/clearlasmog. Change the roads. It's as simple as that. You want simple, effective change that everyone can agree upon? We can all agree that potholes are terrible, that the way that they fix the roads is barbaric. So why don't we change that? If we change that, then we could reduce pollution. If you reduce pollution, you bring temperature down. If it's a little more chill, a little bit more moist, it might even rain. And if it rains, those trees will suck up all that water, filter it, and then put it back into the air, and it might rain even again and again. And that's how you turn a whole state of California from what was about to be the desert of California into the wetlands of California. We have to reduce the pollution. We have to start irrigating. We have to repair the riverbeds and reestablish the tributaries that used to feed these forests, so they wouldn't be thirsty bundles of sticks that just go up in flames. It's uncomfortable, it's boring, but it's something that we have to do. We have to wake up, California. You know, I really do wish that I didn't have the PTSD from military sexual trauma sometimes, because you have to start talking to each other. We have a problem that we know the solution to. It's not this ambiguous thing of where does the universe come from? It's where does pollution come from? Well, we're causing the pollution. And we solve it by changing the way that we pollute. I would love to solve the pollution itself. That's never going to happen. Not with the amount of pushback that people try to do. But changing how we pollute might be a step toward maybe having a larger conversation about what to do with pollution. I'm a disabled American veteran with PTSD from military sexual trauma. I have peptic distress from just the anxiety of knowing that my state is on fire and I don't have a HUD-VASH voucher, so I can't leave my state, which is on fire, because I have to wait for my HUD-VASH voucher, which is ridiculous. Because if I had my veteran benefits, I wouldn't even live in an apartment. I just go to my next thing, which is change.org/genius to Mars, where I would be in a lab trying to perfect some of the experiments that I've done here, which would allow the commute between Earth, Mars, and the Moon, and possibly even Venus, because I am so sick and tired of NASA and SpaceX being the one that people talk to about, so when are you going to go to the next planet? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon, because once somebody lands, once a human lands on Mars or establishes something on Venus or Mercury or anywhere else in the solar system, it proves anybody could do it. We landed on the Moon, and even though it's in the history books, they make movies about it. They just recently made a movie about it with Scarlett Johansson and Gambit. That Magic Mike Gambit. They made a movie recently with the two of them, two beautiful actors. And yet still, it seems like people forget. They forget that anything is possible. And it's easy to forget that you could go to another planet or a moon when every day it's so stressful that all you can do is just try and numb your way back to your bed. You wake up, you hate your life, you go through whatever motions that you do, and then you crawl back to bed and you try to go to sleep. This is why every single day I either call the Veteran Affairs or I do a podcast like this, because that's not enough for me. It's not enough for me to have four walls around me. It's not enough for me to live in a country where Oh, I hate the I hate the city. I hate the people because I could live in a place where I didn't, where maybe I like the people. I tolerated the people a little bit better. They tolerated me a lot better. That's what I want. I want that freedom. I want what America just doesn't seem to give anymore, which is challenges in life. I thought joining the military was going to be a pathway toward being an astronaut or at least an engineer on some of the projects that I wanted to do, which was outward expansion. Because I joined the military for educational benefits. I wanted to be a medical doctor, and that's why I joined. But I also joined because I knew my country is hurting, and it's hurting because there is so much friction friction going on between people that there doesn't need to be. I mean, it's slightly off topic, but somewhat on topic to talk about race relations when it comes to environmentalism. But I will be that person who's brave and talks about it. I don't give a fuck if Elon Musk throws his hands in the air and waves it like he just don't care. I don't give a fuck. I know that may offend people. I don't care. And if it offends you, then you have to look at your life and say, what did he do to you personally? And I know that's a lot coming from someone with PTSD from military sexual trauma who hates all Americans because of what one person did to me. But that level of hate is also a manner of control that whips people into a frenzy so they don't see truth, they don't talk to each other. If you are offended by what he did, fuck off. Fuck off X. Fuck off YouTube. Fuck off Reddit. Fuck off social media in general. And just go live your life. Because that's what I want to do. I want to go to Mars. So while the rest of the nation is going, you know, I really have to learn this new TikTok dance because if I don't learn it, I'll lose followers and then I'll fall into this depression. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of that. I mean, I use Reddit, I use YouTube, you know, the lovely tools when you need information and things like that. But you can't let your whole life revolve around that because you're missing out on things. I want to move to Europe because they're more of a people of the mindset. Once you're out of the grandiose, stupid fucking cities, but you go to towns and villages, those people bike, those people walk, those people have lives which may seem boring, but they're safe. They know the neighbors. They maybe don't walk as far. They just say, there is a pub that offers alcohol. I want alcohol. I'll go walk to the pub. They don't say, I have to get into my car, go down to the beverage supermarket, clogging up the atmosphere with all the smog from my fucking car just to fill it up so I can go drink alone. That's just not how they live their lives. They have festivals, they have outdoors, just within their blood. Go outdoors. Hang with your mates. Do something. I don't want to live in Los Angeles. I hate LA. LA is just not an experience I want. I make music. I have songs that are out. I don't want them to be popular. In fact, I am extremely happy when I check on YouTube that for certain hours, nobody listened to my music. I actually metaphorically click my heels in glee that people don't like my music, because that means that I have the freedom to walk away. All these people who came to Los Angeles because those stupid fucking Discover LA, those stupid fucking Academy Awards and Emmys and Tonys and all these things that say, you know, if you have talent, we'll give you an award. And that will mean something, because look at these people, they're in suits and evening wear.
These boots give me extra
You want
stamina.
that too. You want to be those
Shall I strap
the
them
person
on?
that they say is best dressed. What
These boots give me
nonsense.
extra stamina.
Congratulations to you.
Shall
And
I strap them on?
I still watch a medium, although less and less, because I'm sorry, my state is on fire. I have to focus on things other than your entertainment industry, because my state is on fire, and I seem to be the only person bringing that fight back to Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, saying, what the fuck are you doing? That my state is on fire in 5 different places, and then there's another fire going on in San Diego, and there's going to be more fires this year. So no, I do not
In a video game.
support that industry. I say thank you for your art. I say thank you for telling stories of environmental issues,
Shall I
silo,
strap them on?
but there's this fallout. Even things like The
These boots give
Boys,
me
about
extra
this
stamina.
whole victim culture that
Shall
that
I strap them on?
happened in America, where it seems as if the government is going around and choosing people to horribly traumatize in order to bring out innate talents and superpowers. It's a lovely premise for a show, and it's so good. I wish it wasn't true. I wish it wasn't true that
Saw you in a video game.
all of the artists and musicians and actors, all of these people who say,
Saw you in a video game.
love me, love me, love me through the camera. Those are damaged people.
Saw you in a video game.
Those are people who have dealt with trauma, and the only way that they can get over it is to pretend to be someone else for money. And they're paid handsomely for it. But you shouldn't want that trauma either, because it doesn't matter how much money you'll have, you'll always be traumatized. Which is why, even though I'm fighting for my veteran benefits, I'm fighting not for the money. I'm fighting for the ability to tell people no, to tell people to leave me alone. Because I refuse to do the song and dance of trying to be an actor in this city. I refuse. Number one, nobody's asked me. And two, I don't want to. I'm a traumatized American. I'm done. I'm done trying to make people happy, trying to repair a relationship which is broken beyond repair. I can defend the country, I can support the country. I just don't want to live in it. I hate LA. LA is the worst city. California is the worst state because it has all the money to do whatever it wants. Even Nevada. In Nevada, I will say the same exact thing. Nevada, with its gambling and its prostitution and willy-nilly attitude about drugs, you can do whatever you want. And yet still, I'm not hearing about irrigation. I'm not hearing about environmental issues and renewable energy coming out of either of these states, and they have so much money. Every day is going to be one of these podcasts because someone has to talk about this. Someone has to talk about what we need. I need to leave LA. This city is just, it's more depressing than my own depression. I would actually be less depressed if I could just walk outside without people constantly trying to say hello to me or constantly be in my face or in my way to force me to have to say something, to tell them to move. I like wide open spaces. I want to touch the earth. That's what I want. I want that. Alabaster, Alabama is the song that's playing right now. I love playing guitar. I love being a musician. I love having an artistic side of myself. I don't like living in a state that sets itself on fire and nobody cares. I care. I don't care if I have 1 viewer, 2 viewers, no viewers. I will talk to the air and the atmosphere until I get my hot flash voucher, my veteran benefits, or somehow Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are requested by Californians to just step down, to resign. And I know that's a tough thing to say because you elect these people, but you elect these people and then they don't do anything for you when it comes to these emergencies. They don't know how to handle it. And you see that the way that they've handled it previously isn't working anymore. You can't have fire departments. They don't have the proper equipment, don't have enough water in their fucking tanks, and of course, they can't fight forest fires. LA firefighters are not the ones who are supposed to fight those forest fires. They're supposed to deal with house fires. They're supposed to deal with small controlled things that they have trained for. They have not trained for forest fires. And I understand you put them up against a forest fire and they survived it. That's not the same exact thing as having proper training. It's not the same thing as having all the available tools. Because if they had all the available tools, you wouldn't have to dial up the National Guard and say, can you fucking bail us out? California needs help. California needs climate scientists. California needs engineers. Canada needs engineers. And here I am. I'm stuck in this stupid fucking state that I fucking hate. And I want to just... I want to be an ambassador. I really do. I really want to be an ambassador because all of my great fucking engineering ideas are things that you could do in any country. It doesn't matter what language you speak. There's the language of that thing that you put your cars on top of and it goes all around your fucking city. Change the fucking material. Change the material and you have less pollution. I'm going to keep it short and simple today. I normally go on and on and on and on and on. I don't have the energy for it, and I am just super angry and super disgusted. I'm disgusted with America for how they burn down forests. Forests that breathe the first breath into their children's lungs. I want you to think about that, and I'll leave you with that. Those trees that were there gave your children the oxygen to breathe outside the womb. That first cry you heard from your child is because a tree gave you oxygen. And that tree gave your children oxygen. And the way that you repaid it, you set the entire state on fire, and you continue to do so. You people disgust me. I hate you. I hate LA. I don't care if you love me anyway. I hate all of you because you burn down forests. You burn down forests and you refuse to accept responsibility for that, just like the Air Force refuse to accept responsibility for sexually abusing me at Lackland Air Force Base, for setting up a situation where under military orders I had to be sexually abused. I don't forgive. I wouldn't forgive the Air Force for sexually abusing me, and I wouldn't forgive California for burning down forests that only wanted to give you oxygen, you know, that thing that you need. So, fuck you LA, fuck you California. This is I Hate LA, Love Me Anyway. I will see all of you on Monday for another podcast.